And it will be
1.
Alrighty, everybody. I know I said that I wasn't going to be the one to do this, but I am. Anyway, but yes, it is now time for Mash's Onechanbara origin run, and we did have an incentive for the costume for Aya, and it is right now indeed sweater dress. We do still have another one that's going on that will close partway through the run for Saki's costume. Right now, the Tsubaki Combat G is in the lead, but it's only at $10. So if you want to donate and change what that is going to be, go right ahead. But with no further ado, please take it away.
All right, hi everybody. This is Onechanbara Origins. If you were here for the last time Onechanbara game was in HIGs, you might recall me playing a game called Zombie Zone or Zombie Hunters. This is the remake of that game and its sequel, all together in one game, in brand new art style, as we can see. No horrible screen red flashing to give you possible seizures and all that jazz. Just glorious, fun, fluid combat. And I also have a commentator with me, the beloved and darling Sugoi.
Yo, what's up, gamers? And by fluid combat, we mean there'll be lots of fluids on the screen. Blood, of course, because it is a hack and slash.
I mean, yeah, there's that too, definitely. But yeah, so we have the sweater dress, as we can see here. I did enable the weapon cosmetics as well, which are references to other video games from the developers and publishers. There's Rio there. Rod will be very happy to see Rio on my one sword as well. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get the run started. So I have to go into practice to set the outfit for the start of the run, because we're doing New Game, and I can't do it from this menu like you could in New Game Plus. That being said, we're going to start up the run, and I will let Sugoi kind of explain the start of the run, at least, while I focus on it. But timer is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go!
Alright, so this game is very poggers, and by that I mean, even though it's a hack and slash, it's like a execution-based hack and slash, I guess, where enemies do have health, and they also have stagger, but you have a really crazy OP execution attack that'll basically just two-shot any enemy. So early combat is basically going to be just forcing this stagger and then using this execution to kill as many zombies in a line as possible. Kind of two extra cool things. First one's going to be that, like, if you can chain executions, kind of. So you can extend the duration the more enemies you hit with it. They'll just keep on going and going and going and going. And the second big thing is going to be the meter you see at the bottom of the screen, which is called your cool meter, but in reality it's your kind of like your combo meter, where if you time the attacks correctly, it will increase the attack speed of all the rest of the attacks you do. Which will come in later on for bossing, but for right now, we're kind of just doing this basic, like, 1-2 stagger combo and then executing people. And,
yeah, this part is pretty straightforward. I was supposed to get a dialogue trigger there if my blood built up over 75%, but we didn't have that happen. So I wiped off my blood early so that I didn't get the tutorial prompt for that, which means I'm going to get that prompt a bit later. But we have another fight, so we're going to be doing basically the same thing. Things for the run don't really change too much until we get a little bit later in the run. But because we're significantly under levels, like because we're starting the game at level 1, and there is leveling in this game, and we'll explain that after this first chapter is over. But we're just clearing enemies as quickly as we can, so that we can advance the triggers so we can get to the end of the stage. This is the last fight for Chapter 1, though, and there's 25 chapters in total. So we have quite a bit of a game to go through.
Yeah, in general, there's like
really?
two? I'd say like there's two main changes to combat. is going to be like, same character can have multiple weapons, and you can also have multiple characters. So those are the two like really big combat changes, but for the most part, this is what your mob fights are going to look like. Just force stagger, it executes, slice them.
Yeah, bosses is kind of where combat actually really shines the most, but through basic enemies, because you lose the most time on them, this is the quickest way to deal with it.
She might lead me to my father. Maybe. My blade's losing.
So we have lovely time with the sweater dress. This is actually my second favorite outfit. The courtesan is actually my favorite, but yeah, when we complete a stage or beat a boss, we'll get genocide, or it'll say like decided generally. But Sugoi can explain what just happened at the end of the stage, what we just did. But
yeah, so you get points for doing things. These things, I don't think we really ever try to account for it, because it's just like sliced X number of limbs, cut X number of people in half, and all these equate to points values where you can level up to 99 times, and you just dump everything into attack, basically, because that's what matters the most. Here we have our first boss. The real
Devda.
yeah, the real place. Sure. Yes, the real place of this game kind of shines and is like extremely different from New Game Plus is bosses, because bosses do have multiple phases, and you can skip these phases if you time your stagger correctly, more or less. In addition, you also have. Oh.
I didn't get the stagger there because I needed to get another slash in before I did that, but it is what it is.
Yeah, so you have light attacks, which do damage. Heavy attacks, which are like more stagger. Evading, which will build. If you like look at the bottom left, there's this like red gauge. That can be built up to do like a super, more or less, if you want to think of it that way, in like fighting game terms, which you can build up super really easily from evading enemy attacks or like dodging them, yeah. And then you also have blocking, where if you like, I guess it's more like a parry. If you like parry an enemy attack, it'll really increase stun by a lot. Yeah, this is ecstasy, or is this berserk? I always forget.
This is berserk. Ecstasy is the second evolution we'll get a little bit later. Yeah, parry's really nice, but unfortunately, it's a little bit slow and requires a bit more timing to get correctly. And if you mess it up, you were just exposing yourself to getting whacked by everything. But anyways, Devda went up away from the fight for a little bit, and now they have iframes, which is unfortunate. Alright, cool. Alright, fight's over. First boss down. That wasn't too bad. It could have been a lot worse. Devda has some really weird patterns in the second phase, but I was hoping to skip him jumping away, which is ideally what you want to do, but we didn't get the stagger stun there. So, yeah.
You have to... The big thing that's also interesting is that die when their HP is reduced to 0. It's whenever they fall under a certain threshold of HP, you have to do a finisher on them to end the fight.
This elevator is stopped on the 3rd floor.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, we're also now at the infamous hospital levels. So if you ever played a game like these before, you know that the hospital levels usually suck. And I mean, they're better in this game compared to the other games in the series, but they're still not that great. Be honest. They're just still not that great.
Can any attacks be parried, or is something that have to be avoided? I think you can parry everything.
Just the right timing.
You can pretty much parry every attack. There is a not parry though. You can dodge everything though.
I've been
You just
meaning to
can't
ask,
parry everything.
What made you decide to become an undead hunter?
I was having a really difficult time trying to get that
Use the
slash.
sword skills my father taught me when I was little.
The last fight, we turned into
Like the perfect
Or
place.
dealt and received, I guess.
yeah. There's like a third mode that we'll get as well, which is the more important one to keep track of.
Yeah, that one's scary though as well, being in it for too long.
Yeah.
It looks like the electricity.
Well,
I'm looking at the building's blueprint. Oh,
I forget
see another
what chapter
elevator
we get it
with the
at,
X-ray
but
lab.
we'll mention it once it comes up, because there's a very specific fight that we get it in. But yeah, enemies are a lot easier to kill when you're in this mode, but, you know, we also don't have our full kit of movement yet, so we're going to be seeing some different movement options.
Alright, here we have police. Police have armor and guns. But it doesn't really matter, it's more or less the same thing. It's just stagger people, execute people, have fun, be cute.
Father taught me this.
Alright, we're all done. I wasn't too bad.
This must be it.
Alright, we're getting close to the next boss. Alright, we have to focus on leveling attack. I mean, we're glass cannoning the run, but that's because we want to go zoom. Might be a problem later if, you know, we make up far too many things. So I want to explain this guy.
Yeah, these are, I think they're called mudmen.
Yep.
Mudmen can
You're
only
talking
be
about a type of
killed
undead called
if
a
you're
mudman.
in berserk mode / the third mode, and or if they are
Anyway,
like
good luck.
stagger executed. So they're kind of a pain because you either have to like lead a execute command into them, or you have to get like the parry we're talking about to kill them.
Yeah, they started the fight requiring me to get the parry, which means I have to wait on a little bit of RNG for them, and then also get the timing correctly, which is a little annoying sometimes. I guess the other thing we didn't really explain, when I'm doing these, like, sweeping slashes against the enemies, I actually do have some control of my movement. Normally you just go straight, but I can actually control the direction a little bit every time it runs into an enemy and automatically re-executes it.
You might also be able to damage the mudmen
Which is how I
in
get, like,
berserk
these nice
form.
little curves
That's not
sometimes
something
that
I can
clear up
test
more
myself,
enemies than
though.
one. This fight in particular, though, we set up these enemies when the mudmen spawn so that we can quickly kill the mudmen without waiting for them to try to hit us so we can get a stagger off a parry. Which just makes the fight go by a lot quicker because, you know, waiting for them to attack you is never a good thing. And we have nurses now as well, because, you know, we're in a hospital. Wouldn't be a hospital without some nurses in it.
Or a Gyara with samurai swords.
I somehow missed that guy. Ah, there we go. I don't have chat open, unfortunately, so...
Yeah, it's all
Segoya
good. I gotcha.
Segoya is my way to communicate with y'all.
I see you took care of them all.
At least I'm not muted at the start of the run, which is like a common thing that happens. Alright, anyways. Yeah, so we'll be coming up on a boss fight shortly. I believe it actually might lead to this next fight. Yeah, this is Anzu. Yeah, this is the next boss fight already.
Not sucky. It isn't? Are you sure? Is she an undead?
Oh, right, yeah.
She can talk, though. Maybe one of the hospital's failed experiments? The details of the accident that closed the hospital are unclear. But never mind that.
I don't know what you want to explain about this fight. It's a bit chaotic.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on
Yourself about?
how you want to do things. There's a couple different ways you can do this fight.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a setup for it, but it's just being pooped.
Yeah, phase 1, she hits you, or she tries to attack you.
We're all going down.
Then she'll, for phase 2, she'll like hop on top of the table, and she'll summon some people, and I think she does that one more time for like a third phase.
Yeah, every time she gets down to like 1/3 of the bar left, she'll initiate the start of the next phase just before we get into it, but... So now she summons Mudmen, which I can't do anything about, so I'm just gonna wait until she gets off the table. I can't really do anything until that happens. And I'm avoiding the Mudmen for now, because I want to get her low enough HP, she'll summon more enemies. And then that'll help with some stuff.
We're all going down.
So Mudmen are gone now. You also have iframes when you're doing some things as well, like executing enemies, so kind of nice to take advantage of that. If you do get a perfect dodge, you usually see like a really cool animation. I turned that off because it's slow. It literally slows down the game speed. And now she's back on the table.
I have no idea what you're talking about, which is kind of sad.
You don't know about that?
No.
Yeah, so when you execute enemies, like with the attack from the cool combos, or the finishers and stuff, like it actually slows down the game speed. Like it's a setting called slow-mo effects in the settings menu. Yeah. For the longest time I just left it on, but you definitely don't want to leave it on when you're doing runs. Alright, and we ended the fight early, so that was good.
What the hell?
So the fight ended early because we got a stagger on the last third of the health bar, or the last quarter. And that allows us to just immediately end the fight rather than bring her all the way down to 0, which then would automatically trigger it anyways. So that can be really useful in a lot of boss fights. I do not remember how many bosses off the top of the head there are, but there's quite a few.
It's quiet.
At least one.
At least one, yeah, that would be correct.
I think there's, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why am I trying to remember things with my memory? There's at least 4 bosses. Wow, good job. You're welcome.
I know there's there's definitely at least 4, I know that. There's 2 mini bosses? 3 mini bosses.
Ray, where do you think that undead
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, man, I really wish we could stop killing zombies and zombie girls, but don't worry. There's a very special boss later in the game. I'll just make you guess what it's gonna be.
This always being okay for now. As long as all of them come out of the side rooms, I think we'll be okay. The annoying part is gonna be the cops shooting me in the distance. Alright, we got a chain, so that was good. Alright, so that's done.
I can't take this elevator up. While the building itself is really
Oh.
severely damaged.
Wow,
This
I
is
overshot that jump. I really hate platforming.
This is the worst movement spot in the whole entire game.
It slows you down so
Get to
much.
the 3rd floor from here.
Let's see. Alright. Sword blood mechanic. You see on the left, we got a sword that's flashing red. It's got blood on it. Whenever you kill enough people, you need to quote reload your sword and wipe the blood off of it. The more, I think it's after you get above 50% blood or something like that, you start doing reduced damage. It doesn't super matter for these mob fights because we're just relying on executions, but for boss fights, is muy importante.
Yeah, and Sugoi wasn't joking. The game actually refers to it as reloading.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's not just because there is a character in the game that has a gun. But it literally, in the entire series, has always been considered reload.
But why control an undead girl?
Thank you, Simple Series 2000, for making this beloved series from basically no budget. I'm hoping there's no zombies in the side rooms, but it looks like there is, because I can hear one.
Yeah, this is kind of the worst part about this level is you have all these
Where are
different
they?
side rooms, and I think for a lot of the rooms, if you go too far in them, they'll like lock you in that room and spawn a bunch of new enemies.
I'm hoping I got all of them. I checked anyways. Yeah, okay. So I checked anyways to be sure. But yeah, you never want to have to go all the way back to get them.
Yeah.
Alright, we're level 9, still pumping attack. We don't really ever level HP, ever. I just thought not dying is a good thing. But yeah, now we have a really, really difficult fight, and not for the reasons you think it is.
This is my favorite fight in the game. Yeah, so now we're fighting Anzu and Saki?
Anzu and Sayaka.
Sayaka, yeah. Fighting Anzu and Sayaka. So, there's like, I guess I should just say there's a really, really cool phase skip you can do in this fight.
I'm gonna try for it, but I might not get it.
Yeah, so you basically, if you kill the little sister outright, it skips a phase where you just have to like stand around and do nothing.
She went up there so early, so she's up there so early. Why? Oh, well, I guess we don't get to skip this, so unfortunately it's just a time loss.
This fight's weird because you have to like start off the fight by building, or at least the way I like to do it. I like start off by building gauge, and then I get like little sister right to the threshold, and then you can stun her and like kill her.
She's really too close to it, which is why she went up there.
Yeah. But meh, life.
She also has that weird unblockable attack that she does, and I still have yet to be able to avoid taking damage from it.
I've never seen that attack in my life.
The roller?
Yeah.
Oh, she does it every time to me. She just really hates me. Eventually Sayaka's gonna come down to fight us, but she's just gonna keep like throwing her wrecking ball at us for now. So we're just hoping that we can avoid it when we can, but it's kind of hard to tell when it's about to hit us, so if it hits us, it hits us.
The reason this game is like so fun, especially to run, is specifically for me at least because of the combo gauge. Is like making sure that you are always landing your attacks at the right timing is like a really, really fun mini game and also really rewarding.
Oh yeah, definitely. Every time you hit a perfect on the combo chain, you get a speed boost, which you'll hear a little sound like a lightning streak, and your weapons will flash like blue for a moment, and every time that stacks, you get a nice little speed boost off it.
Yeah, I'm gonna butcher it, but like instead of like slice, it's like yeah. It gives you a different sound effect that's really good.
Yeah.
Like getting gold in an MMO or something. Or yeah.
Okay. Well, I didn't get the early finish for her, because weirdly enough, she was at the threshold, but I think I kind of messed it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think this is probably also the hardest fight in the game, for sure.
Yeah.
You also have 2 enemies attacking instead of just one, so like you can't focus. What's the fun thing about this game is you can't like focus too hard on any one thing.
Yeah, that fight in general is probably the hardest to get really good at, especially if you're going for the phase skip on it for when she jumps up on the platform. Anyways, so we have sliding movement now, so that's nice. So we'll be using that to get around more now.
Don't tell me you're moved by that sissy creature. Ridiculous.
And we'll be coming up on another boss really soon, actually, so... And that'll be a pretty important boss fight anyways, because we'll get a new thing to play around with during the run. Actually, 2 things. One during the fight and one after.
Good news is, I'll be able to use that elevator.
Alright, shield cops are annoying because they're basically invincible until you break the shield, so we set up a zombie with the stagger, and then we just slash into them and they all die. Easy peasy.
Something
Also,
about-
because I did forget about it,
I
this has happened
desperately need
before.
this.
I need to buy this and equip it, because this is like a lot of DPS that I'm just losing by not equipping this.
Marks.
Yeah, so the game does
So-
have like some form of a shop. Are you gonna do any other rings or just the strength?
Yeah, just this ring is the only one I can afford in the run right now.
Okay. Well, I mean, just in general, like later on.
Dare you kill my
2 Hercules rings. We'll end up buying one for Aya, one for Saki when we get her. That's
Okay,
it.
yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we'll be dealing with like consumables for one. We haven't had like heal or anything yet, but there are speed consumables which will make you attack faster, and power consumables which just give you more like raw attack power. We'll be using those later, but we don't have them unlocked right now. But we did unlock a strength ring, so we attack more better. For this fight, this is just on dialoguing,
Yeah.
so we just chill.
Just waiting. Yeah, we just chill for a little bit. Now we have the favorite transformation that Sugoi loves, but I don't because my health is constantly draining.
Yeah, this mode's really cool. I think it's just called Ecstasy mode.
Yeah.
Turn into a really hot demon. Yup. That's enough reason for it to be the best mode in the game. Smile. But
Saki.
it's weird because you're continuously like losing / having health drained whenever you're in it, and you're immune to stagger. So it's really weird where you can go for a parry, but if you mess up the timing, you'll just stand there and you'll just take the damage. Instead of like normally being staggered and immediately being able to like go back into an attack.
Take the damage and also lose all that health for the amount of time it takes while your health's draining.
Yeah. But you're hot, so who cares?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, so that fight's pretty straightforward. If you want a good fight to practice parrying, that's the fight to do it in. In all honesty, especially on the harder difficulties, that fight you could probably spend a lot of time in, like I have. So it's a bit of a gatekeeper on the harder difficulties for sure. So yeah, now we have 2 swords,
My father's
which is
two
nice.
swords.
We'll use them a little bit
Use them well.
in the run.
Yeah, Mash uses the 2 swords more than I ever do.
I'm
But
sorry.
Thanks.
I don't know, it's probably better. I don't know the damages.
They're good and bad for different reasons. I have issues with them sometimes.
Yeah. So now I have like a completely different set of swords, which are, I think, supposed to be better for single target DPS. But
Yeah, no, they have wider range for sure.
yeah. But the really cool thing that they introduce is now I can weapon swap.
Yeah, I can't wait. We'll get to show that off soon.
Yeah.
Father sounded
Being able
pretty
to
troubled. I wonder
weapon
what he
swapping
said
in
about
midair
your
is
sisters.
really weird because they want you to
I'll stop her.
be kind of floaty in this game. So if you're attacking in midair, you basically
Try to kill you.
don't drop to the ground if you're in the middle of a combo. And if you're in midair, you can like swap weapons, and that counts as like maintaining the combo kind of. So you can just infinitely stay in midair and infinitely gain attack speed by continuously like weapon swapping. It's pretty neat. Here we have red enemies though. Red enemies don't stagger.
No, they don't, and deal twice as much damage to you, which is super annoying.
They're a big pain in the butt. So are the dogs.
Yeah, the dogs, whatever reason, just love running after you and jumping at you, and they can knock you back, which is worse than a lot of the other stuff that can happen. And now we have tubbies. I don't know what their actual names are off the top of my head. They're really annoying to deal with though. So we're just gonna pull off a bunch of stagger chains to deal with them quickly. Because doing it the other way, which until we get Sake, isn't really as useful. Because Saki will just instantly kill them, which is nice.
I'll stop
But we just don't have her right now. Inconvenient Berserk transformation, but okay.
She's my little sister.
Oh my god, I did that mid-air again. I don't know why I always pull those off mid-air like
You're
that.
acting weird, Aya. Didn't you say you just do whatever you want? Saying you can't kill her. It's not like you to be soft like that.
I swear the game is holding a buffered input when I go to do that, which is why I go off mid-air like that.
I wonder if this is a failed Ouroboros experiment.
Alright, so slide movement is really, really nice. Can't really do that with dual swords, unfortunately. You end up doing a completely different attack. And that's just dashing, holding forward, and
Who knows?
holding the heavy attack, which is what builds up stagger. You can use it to like barrel through enemies really quickly to move around.
Stopped earlier before you left.
Yeah, it's interesting how they add additional attacks in this game with levels.
Sounds like you
And I think even some of them are behind like certain like combo thresholds or stuff like that as well.
Yeah, certain combo chains have some specific moves as well.
Yeah, it's just really interesting because, for example, like one of the, you think like one of the most basic things is just like the whole throwing kunai heavy attack thing we've been doing this whole time. Because it is, but for whatever reason, later in the game they're like, oh, you know what'd be really cool if we added, like if you're holding forward and then you press triangle, all of a sudden we're gonna change that from a kunai to like this like this roundhouse kick. And it's
Yeah, you hold forward with it.
yeah, it's just like
Yeah, you can do a roundhouse or you can do a lift. I'm just waiting for the trigger to play now at this point because everything's dead. Oh, there's an enemy! No! Okay, well, we just ate like a couple seconds. That's unfortunate. Okay, you're forced to wait for all the dialogue, and then it waits like an extra 10 to 15 seconds after. But thankfully, it's just gonna end immediately.
Don't want to talk about. All right.
So we only lost a little tiny bit of time there. I swear I killed all of them, but I mean, it's hard to tell because they're still moaning while they're dying, so.
There are a lot more undead.
or however zombie sounds.
I guess they
I'm
like
pretty
to
sure that's
hang
accurate.
around.
Alright, nice little short fight room here. Again, we don't have Sahu, so we're just gonna deal with the subbies using quick kill chains, like, make the fight a lot easier to deal with. Because once those guys are dead, like, then the fight is pretty
When
easy.
you finally find Saki,
And of course dogs
it'll
get
be
me.
a battle to the death between sisters of
But yeah, like the dash,
line, won't it?
normally you get body blocked by zombies like that, but like, the dash just pushes them aside, if it likes to cooperate sometimes.
Ray, didn't you say you have sisters too? Could you kill your own flesh and blood?
Is this our first machine gun
never mind
guys,
about
or is that
me.
just on a revisit? I don't remember.
Look, my
Which-
family's complicated.
This game has a lot in common with the best game series ever made, Drakengard, and where they have
No, it doesn't. What do
Three
you have in
levels.
common?
they have like 3 levels they just reuse.
This game has way more than 3 levels that it
She
reuses.
just try to kill you?
There's a lot
The first game, which is the remake of, only has 3 levels.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you, there's that's
I'm
the
not gonna
deal
defend
with
that game.
sisters. They're compared to each other from birth.
This has 12,
Competition
at
is
least.
destiny.
Does it?
Yeah.
I'm just
At least 12
saying.
unique, entirely unique levels.
Okay.
Or maps, I guess, is the way to call it. Because some of the like the chapters are like the same map, but they have a different section for it.
We're all going down.
I'm hearing strange noises in the game, and I think it's because of the weapons that I have equipped. Because, yeah, okay, never played with the cosmetics on the weapons, but they're making noises that I... Okay, awesome. That's creepy.
I did not know that, but I don't like the cosmetic weapons personally.
I don't like them either, so I figured I'd throw them on anyways. But yeah, apparently reloading makes Rio make noises.
Nice.
Did not know that. All right, don't slip out of bounds. Okay, we're good. That would have been annoying. There is out of bounds in this game. They're not helpful. They hurt the run right now. Triggers are really awful. You can ask Alice for more info, and now we have this fight, which is where we'll do the weapon swapping that Sugoi was mentioning.
Great.
Yeah, so you can just
Don't aim at its body.
Weapon swap.
Destroy the cords instead. The umbilical cords coming
Oh my
out
God.
of its belly
Jump.
bring nutrients
Thank
up
you.
from the ground. Without those cords, the
All right,
brat
I
will
want to be in the air because if the dogs actually attack me, they can knock me out of it.
Where am I going to put all
So I want to be high enough in the air.
Do you
for
have
it.
a personal grudge
is that a
against
green
this
baby roaring at us? It's
I just
Baby umbilical cord tentacles things. I don't know what more to say about it.
I don't know what it's actually supposed to be. It's like a plant zombie baby that's gigantic. I don't know. Don't ask me lore questions. Girls with Boopa swing sword. That's all I know.
I don't think the devs ever intended for you to stay in there that long doing that, but it's incredibly useful for this boss. And in for another fight later that we'll get into. We skipped a really cool cutscene with Saki, actually. We haven't seen her, we just heard about her from the start of the run. That was the first cutscene we actually get to see her. She's with another character that we end up meeting towards the end of the run, but now we're going into the Saki fight, so basically half the run's over at this point, at least. So.
And time on the donation for the costume thing.
Where Saki is gonna close after this fight, yeah.
I can say words good.
Alright, so we're gonna power up and start wailing on her sister. Her dad wants us to kill her, but, you know. We have different plans. But she's kind of been brainwashed into thinking that we're not real sisters. And that's because our family lied to us.
There's a... Yeah, so if I remember correctly, the lore of this game is basically that the reason they both go into these, like, different modes or whatever are because they have, like, they're from clan of the baneful blood or something like that, which...
Yeah, Banepul's and Baron Puric bloodlines.
Yeah, which are, I guess, zombie hunters. And there's this whole supposed tradition that's like, oh, like, you can't have siblings or something like that. So you have to get old enough and you have to have a fight to the death to see who's the best. So yeah, this is our fight to the death that's happening.
Alright, phase 2. Now we're both ecstasy. She always opens up with that wave slash attack, so we want to use that to charge up our thing. And if we have a power-up enabled, we do like a stupid amount of damage during that fight. Anyways, we have a nice heartfelt hug with our sister instead of killing her with our sword. I know it looked like we were about to stab her, but I swear we didn't do that. She's alive, see? And yeah, so that's the end of the chapter. We have to start this next chapter in order for us to be able to select Saki from the menu and then set the costume. The game does force a character, the additional character into the group, as well as forced costumes that we just saw during the brief 1 second during the cutscene here. So we start the chapter, and then we're going to retreat That'll put us back at the menu. We're gonna go into practice mode. This is the only way to do this, which is the unfortunate part. But so anyways, we go into practice mode, hit OK. So now we have Saki there. Now we can set our outfit, which was the sweater dress, and then Saki was the combat gi, if I'm correct, right?
That is correct.
Alright, so we have the Sabaki combat gi on, so that's all set up, and we can back out. And nice thing about this game, too, is it has a suspension save, like a temporary save, so we could just hit resume, and we go back in, which is super nice. So you can, like, basically quit out of the run at any point, whatever reason, and it just puts you right back in at whatever convenient spot you were. The other thing that we can do now is we buy the other Hercules ring for Saki, and then we take the time to equip that to her, so that we have damage on her. Because she is level 1, she doesn't really do any damage now, but she's going to start scaling experience with us as we progress through the first few stages, now that we have her.
Now we have weapon swap, and we have like a character swap, because the game is, once again, cool for like ADHD, because we can kind of like force two characters to be doing different things at the same time. By like starting attack with one of them, they'll like start doing the attack, and they can swap to the other one while they're doing the animation and party. So yeah.
Yeah, we'll see that a bit more in the boss fights going forward now.
Yeah.
She does attack on her own and stuff as well, which is kind of nice, but she doesn't always keep attacking. You have to kind of get her to do it as well.
And she doesn't always do useful attacks either.
Yeah, I want her to do the, she does like a little twirl, which is really, really nice. Probably the most useful attack that she has, for now anyways. And I'm missing another enemy somewhere, which is probably this guy. Yeah, okay. So when you have all the enemies, that trigger will play and then the wall will come down. And then we're gonna get forced into a combat fight here with a soldier. First time that we see them. They're actually more annoying than the cop zombies, because they take a lot longer to kill, and they deal way more damage, and they actually have like really cool combo chains themselves, and they can stun off you, so that's not very nice.
They can't be staggered either, is a really irritating thing.
Yeah, that too. Well, yeah, no, you can't stagger them. Not that I've been able to get.
When it comes to swordsmanship, cut it out.
Or like you can stagger them, but I think it's only through parries. And you need like 3 parries to.
Oh yeah. Through parries, yes, but not any other form, unfortunately. Which is the annoying part, because most of the time we're not parrying. Parrying is just too slow. Why parry when you can deal damage? So one of the things I used to do for this room is I used to like build meter with Saki and then clear it with her. Turns out that's actually slower than doing this. Now the only problem is that I don't want to get Berserk too soon into the room. Or like too late in the room, I guess. Not too soon, but too late, because Berserk early in this room helps.
Your swordsmanship is really unique. What style is that?
And then we can carry the Berserk over to the cops that spawn at the end of the level here.
Pretty damn impressive.
If the game lets me do the finisher. There we go. And then there's gonna be one soldier that spawns over here. And then we can just finish them with an execution. Level's done. And we can slide into the level exit. And that's going to force us into a boss fight with a character that's been talking to us since the start of the game. I'm just going to cut a focus and maybe I'll get the fight, the face skip.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Let's see, is this the baby? Again.
Get in my way and I'll show
This is the Ray fight.
Okay. Alright, so this is I don't know. This is Mommy or something. there's only basically only 2 phases of this fight as well, where she will get thresholded and then run to like the opposite end of this alley, which obviously takes a while. But just like a lot of the other bosses, there is a phase skip where if you stun lock her before the thresholds, you can party and one-shot her.
Let's go for it, please. I didn't get it. That sucks. So she's gonna try to shoot me now. Yep. Thanks. Such an annoying boss fight. And it hurts too because she has double shotguns and an SMG. And it just makes this fight even more painful on New Game because she could just straight up kill you with it. Alright, well, we ended the fight early, but I didn't get to skip her running away. You can just straight up kill her at the first area before she, like, runs away. Now we got a whole bunch of experience for Saki, and then now she's kind of leveled up a bit more now. So we just dumped 15 points into her attack, and now she deals damage. So, yay! Alright, so now we have another character, technically, in the posse, but she's not playable. At least not in
you
the
have
game.
to... There's like a... I don't know if I'm gonna call it like a minigame mode, like a Coliseum mode, I guess, called like the tower, and if you like clear X levels of the tower, you can play
100 levels.
Yeah, then you can play with her in the video game as well.
She is really cool and really busted.
I've only played her in practice mode twice.
She's still really cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
She has a pew pew. Characters with pew pews are always good.
Chat, you want to know a secret to this game? Everyone in it is like either cute or hot. It's pretty good. That's why it's a good video game, and you should play it.
No, I never really thought about that, but yeah, you're right. I think it has to do with the art style being actually good for once.
But you could have at least contacted me. Hey, I was tied up. Meetings and stuff.
So this level in particular is nothing important. It's just running down these this like alley of this what appears to be like an old Japanese town.
I just look.
And then there's a boss fight. At the start of a level. It's not the end of the whole. The level starts with a boss fight, but ends with a regular fight, which is a weird choice for the design, but you know, is what it is. Alright, so now we can just use Saki character swap to quickly finish them off. I kind of was a little slow on that one, but we'll get them. Or you can just die. I got one of them at least, but yeah, so Saki jumped on him, instantly killed him, because she can do that really quickly. Which is super nice. I'm missing zombies with those slashes. Oh, Saki found the zombie that I was looking for. Hello. Weirdly enough, you can't really walk through those pillars, but you can squeeze through the gap when you do a finisher.
There's a lot of interesting stuff about this game.
Yeah, there's a new thing that I need to test, but there's a fight coming up later that possibly could lead to like a 3-minute dive save on it because it stops enemies from spawning and ends the fight early. I need to test it more. I don't want to get my hopes too up, but it's happened once in like the hundreds and hundreds of runs I've done of this game at this point. But yet somehow never save any of my runs because, you know, bad speedrunner. And only plays things like Drakengard. That's a lie. I don't really play Drakengard games as much as I used to. I know Segoy's really sad about that.
What's Drakengard?
Yeah, that's a good question.
What's your like background canon? I don't know what that game is. I don't know those characters.
Alright, so we got another character transformation. So we're Berserk now, and then if we get it again, then we'll be in Ecstasy. But this is the end of the fight anyways. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Alright, so end of that level. Like I said, the next chapter starts off with a boss fight. Against the, you remember when we were doing the tentacle fight earlier? There was a, what seemed to be a baby in the center of it. I don't know if you caught that, but we're actually at close-up one-on-one with the baby that we saw with the umbilical cords. Yeah, it's a bit scary. It's a giant zombie baby with a giant eye in its forehead. I don't know what to say really about this fight, except for it's terrifying and it's also really difficult.
Yeah.
I'm too high, apparently. There we go. Stand up, please. I need to be in the air. He's not cooperating. Ubi, jump. No, not that jump. Stand. I mean, this is good height, at least. Alright, we'll just stay in the air infinitely. Yeah, there you go. Look at you. Taking his first steps. I don't know if this is correct parenting, but...
I don't think Aya's a mother.
Probably for the best. I mean, she says and does some pretty questionable things that we hear about in the outro of the game. I think this is easily one of the worst fights in the game, just because this fight is just unpredictable early.
It's I'm not a huge fan. Yeah.
I won't be making that mistake.
I don't know how many times I've done this fight, and I was hoping the like Ubi would react very specifically, but no dice. All the other bosses seem to respond pretty much the same always. It's just Ubi, which is the baby's name.
Yeah, I think this is also the only level where the boss fight isn't the end of the level, which is weird.
Yeah, it is literally the only level in this game where the boss fight is not the end of the level. It starts off with a boss fight. Okay, there's the big guy there. I'm hoping he just comes with us. That would be nice. If he comes up this way, that would be ideal. Alright, he's coming. Oh, he didn't... Okay. Hello?
Yeah, you have to, I think for those, it's the same thing. You have to, like, do it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. Alright, he's dead anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I was trying to get the stagger, but...
Yeah, I don't
I
think
keep forgetting they don't stagger that easily.
There's, anytime that an enemy turns yellow, I think they're called, like, vulnerable or something like that, where they can take some increased damage. So.
Yeah, they definitely take increased damage when they're glowing, but I always keep forgetting that those big guys in particular don't stagger as easy unless you get an execution that goes into them, which is unfortunate. I kind of killed all the easy enemies, so I wasn't able to set that up, which was, you know, a problem.
I think it's one of her creations.
So we gotta kill very specific enemies.
Anyone would know it's you, seeing as you were her loyal minion.
Alright, so Ray, which is the character that's talking right now, the game has her name. I don't know if it's spelt incorrectly or they just love pronouncing it that way, but that is how you say her name.
Weird localization.
Yeah, there's always been localization issues in the game, but I figured it's worth addressing because, I mean, the other game that we could have been seeing would have had Anna spelled with 3 N's, but then the entire series that she's mentioned in later or before is Anna with 2 N's, and it's the same character. I don't have any explanation to how that happened, but, you know, localization stuff. It's all I can probably talk it up to.
Yeah. Here we have machine gun guys. Wow. They have machine guns. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I don't like them. They're my least favorite enemy.
I think the soldiers are my least favorite.
Well, the machine gun guys, if you're still in front of them the whole time, then they will just gun you up.
Yeah.
Like, you get caught and that, you're kind of screwed. Alright, so if we go over here now, we'll spawn dogs. And then also another soldier. Got a healing gem behind here, which we'll probably use later.
Very many memories of Mother. Because Father and I left when I was so young. So, you didn't know Mom used to fight by Father's side?
Somehow missed a dog. There we go. Alright, another boss fight. It's technically a boss, but I consider it a mini-boss. This is the death bear.
What I was mentioning earlier, we're not fighting a girl for once, we're fighting a bear.
Yeah.
Isn't that the same bear
We always have to have a zombie bear in a scary game, right?
You know, the casual bear in the middle of the mall.
change its name
No
to
big deal.
undead hungry for human fleshy living? Swipes are wide, but fast. Be careful! I know.
Come on. Alright, so we got a nice little speed burst there with the dual swords, which is nice.
Slow us down.
On to the second phase.
Saki's
Game wants to
fighting
target lock the
styles.
bear, that would be great.
Savage. You're all going down.
Alright, on the last health bar. Saki just took it in the face. Don't get me wrong though, that charge attack could straight up just kill me because I have no extra health right now.
There does a lot of damage.
It does. Oh, good. I was a little worried. I could have died there. That's why I backed away. Alright, so that fight's over. There's a really cool cutscene that happens in the middle of the fight for the face transition that Saki learns the Tsubaki fighting style, and she says it so bloody fast that it's just crazy. So props to the voice actor that managed to say it that fast. Alright, nothing special at the start of this chapter, but we will be getting really close to the end of the run. We have like... This is like, what, chapter 18 now, I think? If I'm counting correctly. Huh?
That's stuff you know, not me.
Yeah, I'm just... More of a MASH question,
Yeah.
and then other MASH answered.
You are the strongest
But, yeah, so this should be chapter 18. I'll know when chapter 19 is, because that is where we have a room with a bunch of dogs at the start of it. So, I believe it's after this chapter. Yeah, it's after this chapter, but like before we get to another boss fight.
You're all going down.
Did we, like, I don't know if people have been saying orbs in chat, but there's been a lot of orbs in this run. Like, an unbelievable amount of orbs. If there's one thing this game does well, is the amount of orbs is kind of ridiculous, and they get different sizes. Orbs are experience as well, and the red ones are blood, which builds up our gauge, which is over the portrait, and as we can see right now, the portrait is kind of cracked, which means that, well, I'm on the edge of Berserk right now, or at least I was. I was nearing Ecstasy transformation.
These big slaps of people are all going down. Let's just fight our way through and get out of here.
Orb.
Narb the guy. I'm trying to get the meter built by dodging. It's so annoying because, like, you can dodge the attack and not get meter from it because Yeah. I should be fine as long as I don't take any more big hits. I can take like one hit, basically, without needing heal. Yep, one hit. There we go. That's why we got those heal counts.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
That was so scary. I saw the screen flash red, and my instant reaction was, yeah, we're gonna heal. Because, you know, I can do that at any point as long as I'm not in an animation.
Good riddance. A storeroom, huh? If we keep going, I'm sure we'll find a freight elevator.
So we're
around here
just
somewhere.
jumping through things.
Father's on this floor. Let's go to a different one. Oh.
Alright, so there's dogs that are gonna come out if they decide to come out. They're just kind of chilling over there. In the meantime, I'm gonna beat on this guy. Hey, there they go. They joined the party. Trying to set up the... if you kill enough of these dogs, a soldier should start spawning. Wow, why are there so many still trapped in there? Come over here. There, so now we have 2 dogs left. I really only want them so that I can get the soldier to spawn, and then Saki will just instantly kill him for me. And then there'll be one more. Come on. There we go. Kind of just tagged him at the same time with both characters, just kind of obliterated them. But yeah, the guy was flashing, so he just took a bunch more damage. I lied, dogs isn't next. We have the refight with Anzu, I believe. Unless I'm wrong. Like, it's really hard for me to remember off the top of my head.
Something's bothering
No,
us.
yeah, it is dogs. Okay. Why am I second guessing myself? Always. Alright, so this dogfight...
This is the worst room in the game.
It is, but there is a time save here. But I just killed the time save, so... Bye-bye time save. So...
I raised my sword to you with the intention.
It needs more testing, but there is 2 colored dogs here of the non-red ones that we see. Theory crafting with Alice has, and the fact that I got this in a random practice run, is that the brown colored dogs instead of the white haired dogs are tied to a trigger, and if we leave one brown dog alive and kill all the rest of the other dogs and then kill that dog, it will just end the fight early. I guess we kinda ended that fight early doing that, but it's really weird because you're supposed to get like 3 huge waves of dogs.
Ava's could come back. There's no such thing.
So you can save quite a bit of time on that fight just from that, at least theoretically based on what has been a recent thing that still needs a little bit more digging into. Which means if that proves to be the case, it's just gonna open up a lot of weird stuff that we might have to do for combat triggers that we're not even aware of yet. Like, I know very specific enemies for most of the levels that need to be killed to open up, like, let's say this door over here. Like, normally you're supposed to kill all the enemies, but we just drop the wall to advance the trigger here. We don't have to kill every enemy. Unlike some of the other arenas and fights that we've did. You can just not do that. And just kill the enemies that are specifically tied to any of the triggers. So we're just luring these dogs over here to deal with the red guys. And like I said, the nice thing is that we can kind of move ourselves around while we're doing those executes. And then if I'm in an animation, I can just character swap to save a little bit of time. Alright, that was pretty good. Alright, now we have Anzu fight coming up.
Elevators are working.
Alright, so I just got 2 chapters a little bit backwards, but it's all good. All attack, all damage. There is defense and health increases, but you know, who needs those?
Who cares?
Don't get hit. Forehead. Alright, so this is a solo fight with Saki and Anzu.
I'll be the one to stop you.
It's
a fight.
It's a fight. It can be either really long or really short, depending if we can actually not have her dodge everything. Because she is also ecstasied as well. Which is the only time in the series where, well, like she's, you never see this in the original games before this remake. Alright, so I'm gonna back in this corner so I hopefully don't miss all those punches. Thankfully. We're doing like a little spin to win because it deals the most damage to her.
You don't have to do what that woman says. There's no reason to fight for I'm undead.
Okay, well we got the iframes on that twirl because that could have killed me. That's good.
Don't worry. You'll be reunited soon.
Yeah, I don't know if we really fully explained how damage works in the 2 modes, but other than Berserker, which is the stage before that transformation, in Ecstasy transformation, or the second transformation for any character in the series, you essentially quadruple your damage, but you then also take just as much damage in return. So from Berserker, where it's double forward and received, it's
useless girl.
more ridiculous. And you also have health drain at that point as well. So if you're not watching your... Yeah. And now we're returning to old levels. So now we're playing all recycled levels again.
Drakengard experience.
The one thing is we're going backwards through most of them, and into new sections of them, at least.
The new sections part helps it a lot.
Yeah. Because, like, in the first time you come here, a lot of them look like they're gated off, and yeah, that's because those sections are for later. Red zombie, kill him. The other thing with character swapping, I don't know if Sogwai even remembers it, because it's a little odd thing that I don't really pay attention to myself, but if you character swap, characters will slowly regenerate HP when you're not using them.
Yeah. It's a normal like tag system with a lot of fighting games.
Yeah. It's a weird thing to see in a game like this, though, in particular, because it allows you to, like, oh, I'm about to get hit, just swap to the other character and let them take the hit instead. Because, you know, you'd rather not have, like... if Aya dies at all, which has happened to me so far recently in one run, you lose way too much time, because, like, Saki is good, but, like, she's not fast. That is...
Specifically for, like, bossing, or specifically for mobbing, I mean. Just because, like,
Yeah.
the execute.
Like, she does a lot of damage, but, like, unless you're doing a bunch of spin to wins, which don't actually deal damage, funny enough, they just build a lot of blood, using her is not really that good.
And there's the up attack, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
I hate.
Gotta love that attack.
Yeah.
Ow, and I just got punched. We're just gonna...
Like, I'll be right back.
Not a problem. So we have only a few more normal stages to go through, and then it's just a boss rush for the end of the game. So I don't... Yeah, we have only a few more stages. When we start the boss rush, I'll mention But there's not much left of the run at that point, because we'll be getting close to the end of it.
Ava's walls are huge too. Well,
So, this fight, one of the more annoying fights, because kind of need to buy some power-ups.
where am I going to put all
We'll see some really big guys spawn that deal a lot of damage, but they're also the red ones as well.
Mowing down all these undead looks like the only way we can get out of here. It's over now.
So if we get them in a stagger state, we're going to use Saki to execute them.
Father taught me this.
But generally, as long as we have the power-ups on, shouldn't be too much of a problem. We do have some dogs, which is nice, so they'll at least help us get some quick executes like that. As long as he doesn't kill them by ground pounding, then we'll be okay. And yeah, he does a lot of damage. Try not to, you know, have that happen where he hits me. Alright, that fight's over. So, one of the more harder fights we just went through, for regular enemies at least.
Leave it to me.
All the other fights are relatively easily in comparison.
Father, I want to apologize for everything I've done. I know just apologizing won't make him forgive me.
And since our damage is enough with a downward slash to kill dogs now, we can just do that.
Forgive.
Which is very nice, and then we can go up here to spawn the rest of the enemies to finish up the stage. And then we have
He's been fighting
one more full level left, and then it's just bosses, essentially.
when I saw him last. It's over now.
I have a quick question.
Yep.
How did you get into running this in the first place?
Yeah, strange question. People may or may not understand my reasoning for getting into running games like this, but I'm not gonna lie. I saw a special edition of Z2 Chaos in a local game store. And I was like, cool, what is this game? And fun fact, it retailed for less than you'd think a special edition of a game would cost, especially because it was even cheaper than a regular retail game. And the special edition of Z2 Chaos was just so ridiculously dumb and was fast and just fun to play that I was like, okay, is there other games in this series? Because like this seems to be like a second or something. And then turns out there was. So now I'm going across the entire series at this point.
Alright, I'm alive.
So yeah, if you want to see what I mean by Z2 Chaos being dumb, just look up an image of the Z2 Chaos game disc, and you'll see what I mean. And you could just guess from there, you know, what the rest of the series might have to offer. But that game specifically has a very, very, very lewd outfit. Yeah, that's as much as I can say. Just think Banana Split. That's all you have to see.
Acting weird. Doesn't she always?
Thankfully, this game is a much more serious one compared to the entire rest of the series, and there's,
She seems off.
I want to say, a dozen of these games in the series.
Looks like the wall opened up.
And there's 8 in North America and Europe
Leave it to me.
that are available.
I think this is also the newest one, right?
Yeah, this is the newest, a complete
Yeah.
remake of the start of the entire series, which is awesome. Rumor has it there is another one in the works that'll be maybe a remake, but we don't know. They just said similar, if not same engine and art style. Alright, I want to kill these mudmen, but I'm gonna have to kill the Gatling gun guy because he's being really, really, really annoying.
Yeah, it's too easy what I focus on.
Yeah. If the Gatling guys spawn, we have to take care of them, because they're just gonna gun me down while I'm trying to deal with the other enemies. Saki, where are you? I don't want to kill those zombies. I want to get stagger. Stagger. Thank you. Alright. So double execute. That's all good. Gonna spawn these guys and 2 more Gatling gun guys. I don't know what Saki's doing, but she's just not attacking in this arena for some reason. You want to play that way? That's fine. Alright, that guy's down. Boss rush starts after this next part. It's gonna happen once we end this level.
Do you hear that?
Alright, so we have a clone fight. I'm sure we remember seeing Ray a little bit earlier, but now we have a clone fight.
Test subjects for baneful bloodline research. What are they talking about?
Oh my god, why are they doing this?
All I know is they're definitely
Because they know it's a marathon run.
They're like there's so many of them that they can just stun lock me to death, which is the unfortunate part.
there are multiple rights.
That is ridiculous.
We're all creating an organization. What?
Oh, chat, do you like short hair Ray or long hair Ray?
For using in baneful bloodline experiments or
Stagger, please.
for an undead weapon test or whatever. There are hundreds, tens of thousands of them, all with my same face. They pump it up.
Also, host, if you have something to say, this is a good time to do it. Anytime we're in a fight like this.
One is
Yeah, unfortunately we don't have any new donations coming in, but I did just want to mention that we are raising money for to write Love on Her Arms. They are a non-profit movement dedicated to presenting hope and finding help for people struggling with depression, addiction, self-injury, and suicide. They exist to encourage, inform, inspire, and invest directly into treatment and recovery. When you're having a tough moment or day, it's okay to pause and take care of yourself. They have a page that you can check out for different ways to take a few minutes and give yourself some self-care, from connecting to your breath, checking on your basic needs, creating a mantra, or finding a way to move. They also have ways to continue your self-care. I would suggest checking it out, and just remember that you matter.
Perfect. We just finished that. Now it's boss rush time, and then we're pretty much getting close to the end of the run. So there's probably like, I don't know, a few minutes left. Well, sorry, not a few minutes, but like 10-ish minutes at this point. Yeah, so probably about 10 minutes, depending on how these series of boss fights go. So we have a refight with Daddy from earlier. Except for Daddy not looking so good, he's also now a demon, so... Demon Daddy actually really hurts now. He's not playing any games with us. He will kill us, and it will be a sad time
just when we finally
for both parties.
father taught me this.
So we're gonna pause there, use the buffs now, get the increased damage on the slash, and he has 4 health bars to go through. And each time we go down a health bar, he starts doing different attack chains in sort of trying to like keep us on our toes. And he goes invisible and then reappears as well. It also takes a lot more time to stagger him unless you get counters. Yeah, parry. Alright. We can also hold like up to 2 meters now on our special, which is nice.
couldn't even avenge Tsubaki. All I want now
We're all
is
going
for the
down.
two of you.
But the meter drains super fast, so keeping it up is really hard. So he should...
Yeah.
We got him set up for a stagger towards the end here, so we should be able to get it.
It's like hard to build stagger with just auto attacks, but or like with just attacks, you're more meant to like sustain, I guess, what you have.
Oh my god, I'm glad I healed. He's just not giving me a meter right now. Alright.
We're all going down.
Alright, cool. So, as you can see, I finished the fight before getting him to 0, because we got the stagger right at the last portion of the threshold. Which saves us a little bit of time. So unfortunately, we killed Dad. I know, it's a sad time, but Dad wants us to avenge Tsubaki, which is our mother. Hence the combat, the name for the combat gi that Saki is wearing. It's a homage to her mother during her training days when she was learning the Mortal Kombat style, as she calls it. So, and now we have the last 2 bosses of the game, and they come really fast, back to back. So there is not going to be like a chapter load between them. There's supposed to be 2 separate chapters, but they're combined. So I would be getting ready on timer now, because this could be done in like less than 5 minutes.
Time for some banger music and mommy.
Yeah, now this is actual mommy. This is Avenge. Or sorry, not Avenge, but Eva. I always forget that there's like 3 characters all start with EVA.
Fools.
There's Avenge, Evangeline, and then this is Eva. And they're all related. I just don't remember exactly how. So she kind of reminds me of like Isabella or Poison Ivy, or of Isabella or Ivy from Soul Calibur,
Yeah.
just because of her weapon and her outfit. But she's wearing caution tape that says love on it.
He's hot.
Yeah. She was the one that was
She's the evil.
convincing Saki that she needed to kill us and steal our heart to bring her back to her mother. And obviously it's not possible, because if you bring something back from death, then they become a demon or a zombie or, you know, that jazz. Alright, so phase 2. I want to be not in that, because that will kill me. And she hurts a lot, like all these bosses do, because they are endgame bosses, so if I do get hit, I could just die, so I'm just going to heal now. And I'm going to be doing 1 set of extra buys towards the end of this fight, which will set me up for the final boss, which goes right into it. And I'm going to let the cutscene transition play, because it's really cool how that happens.
This is the coolest cutscene in the history of history.
It also has the best song in the entirety of the game, done by a band of 4 female singers, and all of them do the vocals. I didn't believe it myself, but I'll talk a bit more about them afterwards. Alright, we need to buy early, so that's fine. So we're just gonna buy a few more gems,
We need this.
because we're gonna need them for the next fight anyways.
Where am I going to put all this?
Yeah, taking damage just sucks a lot on this fight with no health. Because we still have the default health from the start of the game. Alright, so she has iframes, which suck. Alright, now we can damage her again. Alright. Alright, we're just gonna let this transition play, because this is one of the baddest introductions ever. We're about to see why. Fair warning, the dialogue is in English and is synced to Japanese dialogue for the lip syncing. It's not a bug. What a way to do an introduction.
I mean, how long were you planning on letting them pull your strings? The organization. Those assholes. I started slaughtering them. And it's done. I've killed them all. Now I'm the only one. It's just me. I'm finally the Origin. I am finally alone at last. But there's still
If you haven't figured out who this character is by now, it is Rei. She just came in
to be like you.
and destroyed Eva for us.
You.
I guess gore warning at this point.
I mean, it's a little late.
I mean, this part specifically, gore warning.
I
But this is a cool way to start a boss fight.
want to be you.
Alright, so Rei comes in, kills Eva, and pulls out her heart and then eats it. That's pretty much the summary that you get. And now a really cool song done by Broken by the Scream, which is a Japanese 4-female singer group, does all of the vocals, by the way. So if you hear any screaming going on, it's 4 girls.
Ray, I'll take your sorrow away. This is amazing. Yes, yes. The power of painful blood.
And for the last time in the run, I can say, God, she's hot.
Yeah, she is. Also my favorite character.
Saki. I still hate your guts.
Alright, so she does have 4 health bars, much like the other bosses. Ava was the only one that didn't at the end here. So Rei has some interesting phases because she does gain iframes during some of them, and she will jump away from us, which is a little bit unfortunate when that happens.
Fine to me. I mean,
So we're just trying to get that stagger gauge built up to get the free damage before she does that. So this is one of the phases where she'll jump away.
it feels so nice. Funny.
Nothing I can do really about it. Except for try to get close, but she's just gonna kill me if I do that. So we'll just try to build meter and then get some cheap shots in her for the staggers. Alright, and time's coming up in 3, 2, 1. Time. And that's Origins.
GG.
All done. Do I even want to ask what the time is? The GG pretty terrible, but
You're amazing.
We've got 1:25:39.
that was a little slow. I mean, yeah, we did watch the cutscene, so that would have added like the 5 minutes. So I mean, I'm pretty happy. We're right on the peak of the estimate.
You.
I missed all of the phase skips for all the other bosses, but as Sugoi mentioned, they're all incredibly hard to get because of thresholds. But anyways, if you are interested in Onechanbara or any of the games, we do have a Discord for it. You can find it on SRDC. From any of the Onechanbara games, it'll link right to the Discord. It will send you to the Simple 2000 series Discord, but that's mainly where the Onechanbara games started, so that's where it will be, along with Demolition Girl and other weird bad games that were budget titles. And I'd like to say thank you to Sugoi and the hosts and all the people who've donated thus far to the event.
Now you two will
And
always be
yeah,
together.
I run other things like Drakengard 2, so if you want to see another very, very long but awful game,
Over us, okay?
then I love it, but then you can try to coerce me to playing that or submitting it, then feel free.
Thank you so very much for being here. Yeah, that was such a great run. Thank you for doing that. Coming up next is going to be Dangerous playing Fashion
name is
Police
Aya.
Squads. That's going to be a nice run. But
And I'm the
this
heiress
time,
of my
hopefully
father's
for real
swords.
this time,
My name
I'm
is
actually going to be
Saki.
finishing up my hosting gig.
And I'm the
Thank
heiress
you
of my
all
mother's
again
fighting
for
style.
being here,
My
for
life,
watching, for
once
donating,
defined by
and for
combat,
just giving us your
has
time in
changed
general.
greatly.
It's so humbling to
Baneful power
you
must
know
be
that
used for the good of those who
100
can't
plus
fight for
people are
themselves.
watching this and enjoying people playing games just really
And
fast
Saki
and
will
deciding,
always
hey,
be my
I like
reason
this.
to
I'm going to
fight
help
on.
out other people by
I have
donating
a
my money.
sister I
So
love dearly.
thank you all so much for being here. And
She
I
believes in
personally
me
really
more than
appreciate it.
anybody.
And I know everybody here at HIG appreciates it as
I
well.
don't want to
Thank
lose
you.
a loved one ever again.
Thanks for having us.
Bottom of the screen. Really important for the speedrun because if I don't have enough stamina, I can't run. And in the speedrun, I want to run almost every time. You can crouch too when you crawl. The good thing is that you don't use stamina, and the most important feature of the game is that you can switch between a light world and a dark world. Here I have to go in the light world to make the bridge spawn, or I won't be able to jump over the hole. And it's all the thing in this game is you switch between a light world and a dark world to jump over some hole or to solve some puzzles. So that's the thing, light world, dark world, and my stamina will be the three important things in the run. And we will push a lot of crates. Or it's also a good thing in the game. You don't lose stamina when you push a crate. You really just lose stamina when you run or when you are in the light world. No matter what you do in the